Have you ever invested in resources that are so expensive and so beautiful that you're afraid to use them? Hi, I'm Dr. B, the Creativity Sensei, and I inspire you to do your art. And today I wanted to talk a little bit about when we buy things because maybe we've seen a video of somebody using that thing and we say, I want that too. I have been recording my videos on my iPhone without an external mic and doing these walk and talks. And I love the ease of this process. But last Christmas, I found the DJI Pocket 3 by Osmo, and I asked when my family was trying to think of something to buy me for Christmas, I suggested that maybe they give me that lovely little camera, which they did. I have used the DJI on a few of these walk and talks, but I am troubled with a couple details. One thing, when I use that fancy camera, I hesitate. I'm fixated on getting everything right, and I don't just talk. Part of me thinks, well, you're going to edit it later. It's okay if you restart. It's okay if you pause a little bit. But the other part is simply downloading from this camera onto my laptop. When I use my phone, I can simply AirDrop, and the file is almost instantly available for me to then post to YouTube. I strive to make these videos with my iPhone super simple with few to any edits. I just want to get the word out there. I just want to do my recording and be done with it. And today, on this hike that I have done, which is going to end up being 2.25 miles, this is the third video that I have recorded. I know that it's going to be easy for me to share it with you. But the real point of the video here that I'm talking about, do you ever buy supplies for your projects that you're afraid to use? My husband, who I call my MacGyver, bought several planks, pieces of maple, and he wanted to make something for our bedroom. Maybe it was an end table, maybe it was a dressing table, maybe it was something else. He spent probably quite a bit of money on that maple wood, but he never cut into it. And I think eventually he ended up giving it to a friend who is a hobby woodworker, so that the wood wouldn't just go to waste, wouldn't become moldy and rotten and firewood, that it would actually be used and put into some product. Myself, I am a collector of fabric. As somebody who makes clothes and window treatments and costumes, I am drawn to beautiful fabric. I often will buy things with no idea of what I'm going to make out of them, but simply with the idea that, oh, this is so pretty. How can I pass it by? How can I not bring it home with me? I remember one piece that I got at Britex Fabric in San Francisco. It was a remnant about a third of a yard. It was a beautiful brocade, pink flowers on a taupe background. One of the workers there told me that the designer for the program Outlander purchased yards of that fabric to make a gown for the protagonist. Of course, therefore, I had to have that piece of fabric, that remnant. I kept that fabric for years. A couple years back, I had a student who made their own clothes, and often with a historic bent to them. They hand-stitched everything. They drafted their own patterns. And I thought, if anybody would appreciate this fabric with its history, it would be them. And so I gifted the remnant to them at the end of the semester. Never heard from them what they might have done with it, and that doesn't matter. I do believe that the remnant went to a good home. Maybe you have purchased an expensive tool and you're afraid if you use it, it'll wear out. Or maybe it's an expensive paintbrush or canvas. Sometimes writers will buy very fine paper to print something on or do calligraphy. But if we just sequester those little treasures away and don't use them, well, what good are they? And I'm telling you this because I'm trying to get over my apprehension about using this fancy camera that definitely does a better job at things like facial tracking than my iPhone, and it has a much better microphone. I just need to streamline the process of downloading and getting out of my own way in terms of recording videos that aren't going to need a lot of editing. So I have shared that goal with you. Sometimes we need an accountability partner, someone that will ask us later, well, have you been using it? What do you think? And so that is my lesson for today. This month I have been using a Halloween theme for all of my videos. I'm not quite sure how to finesse this topic of expensive resources and finally having the courage to use them. But you know what? I'll figure out a way. I'm Dr. B, the Creativity Sensei, and I live to inspire you to do your art. So, what are you working on? What have you got secreted away? Something that is too expensive, you're afraid to use. Well, haul it out. Crack that box open and make it. Use it. Use it up. All right. That's it for today. A biento.